Welcome to today's episode, where we share heartbreaking news about extraordinary American legends who passed away in the last 24 hours on May 23, 2025. Join us as we pay tribute to their incredible lives and legacies that touched us all. If you find this content meaningful, please like, support, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Let's honor these remarkable individuals together. Stay with us as we celebrate their contributions and reflect on their impact. Thank you for being here. Ben Rathbun. What happens when a reality TV star's search for love becomes a whirlwind of controversy, only to end in tragedy? Ben Rathbun, the 90-day fiancé Alum who captivated audiences with his bold pursuit of a younger woman, passed away at 55, leaving fans stunned and questions swirling. His journey was anything but ordinary, marked by romance, scandal, and a battle that no one saw coming. Let's dive into the untold story of Ben Rathbun, a man whose life kept us glued to the screen until the very end. Ben first stepped into the spotlight in 2021 on Season 5 of 90 Day Fiancé, Before the 90 Days. A 52-year-old divorced father of 4 from Michigan, Ben wasn't your typical reality TV star. He was a former pastor with a deep-rooted faith, raised in what he later called a cult-like, religious environment. But what really turned heads was his online romance with Mahogany Rocha, a 22-year-old from Peru. Their 30-year age gap raised eyebrows, and fans quickly noticed red flags. Mahogany used heavy filters on her photos and refused video calls, leading many to whisper one word: catfish. When Ben flew to Peru to meet her, she stood him up at the airport, leaving him stranded and viewers hooked. Was this love worth chasing? Or was Ben walking into a trap? The drama was just beginning. Their relationship was a rollercoaster from the start. Mahogany's secretive behavior didn't stop at missed flights. She gave Ben a fake address and ghosted him for periods, fueling speculation that she wasn't who she claimed to be. Fans flooded social media, debating whether Mahogany was playing Ben for fame or something else entirely. Yet, Ben stayed devoted, even selling his blood to afford trips to see her. Despite the skepticism, their story took a surprising turn. By 2023, Ben and Mahogany tied the knot in a civil ceremony, which Ben described as just brilliant on 90 Day Diaries. But whispers of doubt lingered. Could a relationship built on such shaky ground really last? And what challenges were they hiding behind closed doors? Ben's life wasn't just about romance. It was also tangled in legal troubles that kept him in the headlines. Back in 2020, he was cited for driving under the influence in Michigan, a charge that seemed out of character for the devout pastor. Things got messier in 2022, when he missed a probation hearing, landing him behind bars for a violation. Reports surfaced that Ben had been struggling to keep his life together, and these incidents painted a picture of a man facing personal demons. Unlike the polished image he projected on TV, Ben's reality was far more complicated. His legal woes hinted at deeper struggles, ones that would soon be overshadowed by even darker news. Financial strain added another layer to Ben's challenges. In 2023, American Express hit him with a lawsuit over an alleged 5-figure credit card debt, claiming he'd ignored their attempts to collect. This wasn't just a personal setback, it tied back to his professional life. Ben had served as executive director of the Michigan Lupus Foundation, a role he held for 7 years. But in 2018, accusations emerged that he'd embezzled between $1,000 and $20,000 from the nonprofit. By March 2022, the foundation cut ties with him, stating he was no longer an employee. Ben later told In Touch that the firing would humble him, but the damage was done. Fans wondered, was Ben the victim of a smear campaign, or had he crossed a line? The truth remained murky, but it kept viewers talking. Then came the bombshell no one expected. In late 2024, Ben was diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer, a disease so advanced it often goes unnoticed until it's too late. Reports say he was too weak for chemotherapy, and the illness moved fast. On May 19, 2025, Ben passed away at his home in Greencastle, Indiana, surrounded by family and mahogany. The news hit hard, with fans taking to social media to express their shock. One wrote, "He looked so healthy. It's a reminder we aren't promised tomorrow." The 90-Day Fiancé community mourned, with castmates like Mike Burke and Lisa Ham offering condolences. But as the tributes poured in, questions lingered about Ben's final days and the life he left behind. Rumors swirled even after his passing, adding a layer of mystery to Ben's story. A photo from 2019 surfaced, suggesting he might have married another woman before Mahogany, sparking confusion about his relationship timeline. Fans speculated, was there more to Ben's romantic history than he let on? Others questioned whether Mahogany was truly by his side in his final moments, with some claiming she'd distanced herself. These whispers, though unverified, kept the internet buzzing. It's been said that Ben's journey was filled with contradictions, faith and flaws, love and doubt. What we know is that his story wasn't black and white, and that's what kept us watching. Mahogany broke her silence on Instagram, addressing the rumors head-on. In a heartfelt post, she shared never-before-seen photos of her and Ben, capturing moments of joy despite his illness. "I love you forever and ever," she wrote, tearfully defending her husband's character. He was a saint, a real Christian who made peace with life and God. She confirmed she was with him until the end, shutting down claims to the contrary. Mahogany's words painted a picture of a man who, despite his mistakes, sought redemption and love. Her tribute moved fans, with many saying they hadn't realized how deep their bond had grown. But it also raised a question: would Mahogany return to the 90-Day franchise? Or would she step away from the spotlight for good? Ben Rathbun's life was a tapestry of faith, controversy, and an unyielding search for love. From his polarizing romance with Mahogany to his legal and financial battles, he lived in the public eye, flaws and awe. His sudden passing at 55 left fans grappling with the fragility of life, wondering what might have been. Was Ben a hopeless romantic chasing a dream, or a man caught in his own mistakes? Maybe he was both. His story reminds us that even the most dramatic lives are human at their core, filled with hope, struggle, and the pursuit of something real. What do you think Ben's legacy will be? A cautionary tale, a love story, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation going. Michael Alaimo. Have you ever wondered who the unsung heroes of Hollywood are? The actors who steal scenes without chasing the spotlight. Michael Alaimo was one of those talents, a man whose face you know from classics like Space Jam and Cheers, but whose story goes deeper than you might think. Sadly, he passed away on May 2, 2025, at 86, leaving fans mourning and curious about the life he led. So, who was Michael Alaimo, and why does his legacy still matter? Let's dive in. Born in New York, Alaimo caught the acting bug early, studying theater at Brooklyn College. He wasn't just another aspiring actor, he was drawn to the raw energy of avant-garde theater, performing with Joseph Papp's Shakespeare troupe and later joining the anti-war show FTA, in San Francisco. This wasn't a guy chasing fame, he was about the craft, the message, and the stage. By the early 1970s, he packed up and headed to Los Angeles, ready to take on Hollywood. But what came next would define his career in ways no one expected. When Alaimo hit LA in 1973, he didn't waste time. He landed roles in gritty TV shows like The $6 Million Man and Cannon, proving he could hold his own in any scene. These early gigs showed off his knack for bringing depth to small roles, a skill that would make him a go-to character actor. He wasn't the leading man, but he didn't need to be. His presence made every moment better. And that talent was about to land him in one of TV's most iconic shows. In 1985, Alaimo stepped into Cheers as Vinnie Clausen, a character who tried to charm Carla Tortelli in the fan-favorite episode, Too Good to Be For Real. Fans still talk about that episode, with Alaimo's performance stealing laughs and hearts. It wasn't just a cameo, it was a moment that cemented his place in sitcom history. But there was so much more to his career than a single role, and Hollywood was about to see it. Fast forward to 1996, and Alaimo found himself on the set of Space Jam, playing a doctor alongside Michael Jordan, Bill Murray, and Wayne Knight. The film's blend of NBA stars and Looney Tunes made it a cultural phenomenon, and Alaimo's role, though small, added to its charm. Fans on X still light up when they talk about Space Jam's nostalgic pull, and Alaimo was part of that magic. But his work wasn't just about blockbusters. He had a knack for picking projects with impact. Take The China Syndrome in 1979, a nuclear meltdown thriller starring Michael Douglas and Jane Fonda that snagged 4 Oscar nods. Alaimo's role in this tense, socially charged film showed he could hang with the heavyweights. He popped up in family-friendly hits like Mr. Mom and All I Want for Christmas Too, proving his range was unmatched. From gritty dramas to light-hearted comedies, he brought something special every time. But what happened when the roles started to slow down? After a steady run through the 80s and 90s, Alaimo's screen time dwindled post-2004. He took a 6-year break after a Scrubs appearance, only returning for the 2010 film The Invited. Fans wondered why he stepped back. Some speculated health issues or a shift to teaching theater, where he inspired countless students. He made a brief comeback in 2018 with Lethal Weapon and wrapped his career with the 2025 docudrama Sinatra. Whatever the reason, his quieter years only added to the mystery of his life. And then came the news that hit fans hard. On May 2, 2025, Alaimo passed away peacefully in Burbank, California, at 86, as confirmed by his daughter, Gabriella Alaimo Thomas. Just one day earlier, Cheers co-star George Wendt had also passed, sparking whispers online about a possible Cheers curse. While there's no evidence to support that, posts on X show fans grappling with the eerie timing, with some speculating about undisclosed health struggles. What we do know is Alaimo left behind his wife, Louise, daughters Gabriella and Giovanna, and granddaughters Isabella and Malia. But there's one question fans can't stop asking. What made Michael Alaimo's legacy so enduring? He wasn't a headline grabber, but his work touched generations. From cult classics like Graffiti in 1969 to his unforgettable Cheers episode, he brought authenticity to every role. His theater roots and mentorship shaped lives off-screen, too. As we remember him, it's worth asking, who are the other unsung talents in Hollywood, quietly shaping the stories we love? Alaimo's life reminds us that sometimes the smallest roles leave the biggest marks. Dave Shapiro. What kind of person lives a life so bold it feels like it belongs in a movie? Dave Shapiro was that guy, a music industry titan who shaped the careers of rock legends, a daredevil pilot who chased thrills in the skies, and a friend who left everyone he met inspired. But on May 22, 2025, his story took a heartbreaking turn when a plane crash in San Diego shocked the world. How did a man who seemed unstoppable meet such a tragic end? Stick around as we dive into the incredible life, untold passions, and lingering questions surrounding Dave Shapiro's final moments. If you're as gripped by this story as we are, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that hit hard. Dave Shapiro wasn't just another name in the music biz, he was a force. Starting out at big-time agencies like United Talent Agency and the Agency Group, he carved out a reputation as the guy who could spot talent and make things happen. By 2018, He'd co-founded Sound Talent Group with partners Tim Bora and Matt Anderson, building a roster that reads like a festival lineup. Sum 41, Pierce the Veil, Hanson, Vanessa Carlton, and metalcore heavyweights like Lamb of God. Dave had a knack for championing independent artists, even running his own label, Velocity Records. Bands trusted him because he wasn't just about business. He was one of them, a guy who lived for the music and the hustle. But there was another side to Dave that most fans didn't see, and it's what made him truly one of a kind. What drove this music mogul to chase a completely different kind of high? Here's where the story takes a wild turn. Dave Shapiro didn't just love music, he was obsessed with the skies. At 22, he took his first flight lesson and was hooked for life. He became a certified airline transport pilot and flight instructor, even owning a company called Daviator LLC in Alaska. Dave wasn't just flying for fun. He was out there landing planes on Glacier, in Denali National Park, and offering flight tours in San Diego. Get this. He loved aviation so much he set up Sound Talent Group's San Diego office in an airplane hangar, surrounded by his planes. In a 2020 podcast, he said flying helped him escape the noise of the world, focusing his mind like nothing else. But that passion for flight would lead to a day no one saw coming. What happened on that foggy morning in San Diego? It was just before 4 a.m. on May 22, 2025. When a Cessna 550 private jet, registered to Dave's company, took off from Teterboro, New Jersey, headed for San Diego's Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport. The plane made a fuel stop in Wichita, Kansas, before continuing west. But as it approached San Diego, dense fog blanketed the city. Around 3:47 a.m., the jet hit power lines in the Murphy Canyon neighborhood, a military housing area, and crashed in a fiery explosion. Homes burned, cars caught fire, and jet fuel flooded the streets. 8 people on the ground were injured, but miraculously, no one on the ground lost their life. Tragically, all 6 passengers on the plane, including Dave, didn't make it. And among them was another name that hit the music world hard. Who else was on that doomed flight? One of the passengers was Daniel Williams, the 39-year-old former drummer for The Devil Wears Prada, a metalcore band that defined a generation. Just hours before the crash, Daniel posted an Instagram story from the cockpit, jokingly calling himself the co-pilot now, as he sat next to Dave. That haunting post was his last. Daniel was a founding member of the band, known for his intense energy behind the drum kit, and his role in shaping their early sound. The band's tribute on social media was gut-wrenching, no words. "We owe you everything. Love you forever." 2 other Sound Talent Group employees were also on board, though their names haven't been released as families are still being notified. The loss of these lives left the music industry reeling, but it also sparked a wave of questions that are still unanswered. What really brought that plane down? Rumors are swirling about what went wrong that morning. Dave was an experienced pilot, with over a decade of flying under his belt. So some fans and industry insiders are wondering if he was at the controls, or just a passenger. Reports suggest the thick fog played a role, and the National Transportation Safety Board is investigating why the plane hit those power lines. Was it a mechanical issue? A split-second mistake? Or something else entirely? Online, some have speculated about the plane's condition, or the challenges of landing in such low visibility, but nothing's confirmed yet. What we do know is that the crash was catastrophic, destroying 1 home and damaging 10 others, with debris scattered across the neighborhood. The music world, though, isn't just focused on the crash, they are mourning a legend. How did Dave's peers react to this loss? Tributes poured in faster than you could scroll. Hanson, the pop band behind Bop, called Dave a fearless friend who was always chasing the next challenge. They worked with him for 15 years and said he was the kind of guy you'd want on speed dial. The Devil Wears Prada's tribute to Daniel Williams echoed that pain, while music producer Ryan Bruce called Dave a life changer, who always put others first. Across X and beyond, bands like Parkway Drive and Killswitch Engage shared their grief, with one post calling Dave a titan in the industry. Sound Talent Group's own statement was raw: "We are devastated by the loss of our co-founder, colleagues, and friends." But beyond the music, there was something else about Dave that made him unforgettable. What was it about his life that felt so larger than life? Dave Shapiro lived like he was running out of time. He wasn't just booking bands or flying planes, he was base jumping, piloting helicopters, and chasing adventures most people only dream about. He married his wife, Julia, on a glacier in Alaska, landing their plane with skis to say their vows. That's the kind of guy he was, fearless, always pushing the limits. Running his agency from a hangar wasn't just quirky, it was a symbol of how he blended his passions. He didn't just support bands, he built a network that lifted up independent artists, giving them a shot in a cutthroat industry. His work with the National Independent Talent Organization showed his heart was in the underdog. But that adventurous spirit, that need to soar, might have been what led to his final flight. What does his story leave behind? Dave Shapiro's life was a masterclass in living boldly, whether he was signing the next big band or flying through the clouds. His death, alongside Daniel Williams and 4 others, in that fiery San Diego crash, reminds us how fragile even the biggest lives can be. The music world lost a giant, but his legacy lives on in every song he helped bring to the stage. As investigations continue, we're left wondering, what really happened in those final moments? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going. If this story hit you as hard as it hit us, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories about the legends we've lost and the mysteries they leave behind.